soothing than whatever was going on before because, oh my God.
Gotcha.
Also, you failed to mute. We heard everything.
My bad, guys.
No mute in time.
And we're
Anyway,
streaming, so
Luke
we're running late.
Yeah, Luke apologizes that he was not able to redraw you guys because he's been busy, but he was at least able to get for those two.
That's
Yeah,
fine. I have my
that's-
board from last time, so I should be all right. And I think I have most of my character sheets too.
Well, I have new character sheets for you guys because we've quote unquote upgraded to 5th edition.
Sweet.
So it'll be super simple. You guys are playing essentially the same characters. They're tweaked for 5th, which is easier actually than 4th in my opinion. So, but don't worry about that. At some point, the 5 of us will get together and have like a drink, and I'll explain a few things, and you'll be all set for the game.
Speaking of which, I combined some mango lemonade, some fresh strawberries and blueberries, basil, and a little bit of Russian standard vodka for my cocktail tonight.
Ooh, how is it?
It's actually very good. Perfect for summer. A little girly, but not too girly.
I might
Girly's
resent
not
that.
as. Hey, oh, you know what? Girly is not bad. Okay, so I had a friend. You know what? Hi, I'm Jonathan.
Hi, I'm Jack.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
And we
we're
are
Glib Shark.
Glib Shark.
Oh my
Tonight we
God.
are previewing RTX.
But first, the story. So I had a friend that I used to go on little friend dates with, and it was a lot of fun. We'd go to movies, we'd go to concerts, we do all that sort of stuff. So she would suggest that we would get the girliest drink at whatever place we went to. I have had girly drinks from everywhere, from Applebee's to Chili's to Cheesecake Factory to some fucking places downtown Oklahoma City that no longer exist. But I have to say, fruity girly drinks are the best. And there was a Kids in the Hall sketch that proved me right because it was the
Girl drink
girly
drunk.
drink. Yes, exactly. Oh my God, that was so much fun. Anyway, but the girly drinks are awesome, and I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, absolutely. If your alcohol preferences run towards the sweet, or if you're just in the mood for something sweet, the girliest stuff is always the best. And not necessarily the least alcohol, because some of those girly drinks are crazy. I mean, technically, a Long Island iced tea is kind of girly, and oh my God.
It's only alcohol.
That's all it is.
It's comprised solely of alcohol. Oh, I'm sorry. It has like lime juice or something in it?
And trace amounts of iced tea.
It looked at a lime from across the bar.
It gave some fruit an eye waggle.
You know, it
No,
reminds
not
me
that
of that.
kind of fruit. No, it didn't need that.
It reminds
Fucking
me
hell.
of that comic where a guy walks to a bar and says, "Give me the girliest drink in the room," and points at the female bartender. So she pours him a drink, and he says, "This is whiskey," and then she says, "Maybe you should woman up and drink it."
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
I think it was an XKCD. I'm not sure though. Is that the one with all the stick figures?
Yes.
That is one of the ones with all the stick figures, yes.
There
Got
are
it.
a couple, yeah.
Yeah. I am sadly not drinking anything alcoholic, partially because I just got home and haven't had the chance to really do anything except, like, get ready for this. Also, what little tiny funds I have are being saved for drinks at RTX.
Fair enough. I mean, I just happen to have this lying around from my. The Malayalam word is palakachingal. It's sort of a milk ceremony where we boil some milk and it boils over to symbolize, wealth and well-being and happiness in your new home. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not quite a housewarming, but it's like the first step.
I could make myself a drink. I am actually staying with our good friend Dee Snyder, and he has alcohol within a few feet of me, so I might go and partake. I do have to be at work tomorrow, though, so I can't get too sloshed.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. We've got this whole weekend to worry about that.
Most definitely. Speaking of this weekend, we are talking about RTX. If you're going to RTX and want to talk about it, you can call Skype Jenga Ship or 215-486-2125. But first, as always, and increasingly commonly, actually, now that we've changed times, we have the lovely, the talented, the amazing, the incredible Oboe Crazy here to do a little something that we call This Week in Geek. How are you, Lauren?
I am excited that 24 hours from now, I will be preparing to get on a plane to go to RTX. I'm super excited. I've gotten over the disappointment of Luke not being there. I've gotten over the disappointment that I'm not going to be able to go see the Bare Naked Ladies, and I've now transitioned into intense joy. But first, something else. Let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm not talking about the D&D game that we will be participating in for charity at RTX. I'm talking about the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Yep, 15 years ago, there was one of those, and it was horrible. If you haven't seen it, you're not missing anything. It had actually decent CGI dragons for the time, and that's about it. However, Warner Brothers has cleared up the rights issues and has announced that they're moving forward with a new Dungeons and Dragons movie that's not just generally based off of, oh, hey, dragons and rogues and warriors and things, but actually specifically on Forgotten Realms, which is a very popular D&D setting. The fact that the film is going to be set there where most D&D novels and video games and a lot of actual games are taking place implies that the WB is taking a bit more of a serious attempt at bringing this RPG to life. There's a whole wealth of characters and stories that can be told that are already in the fiction, and they could actually just make up their own, like a true D&D game. There are no other details on the plot. There's no other details on when and where and who. We do know the film is being written by David Leslie Johnson, who wrote Wrath of the Titans, Orphan, and The Conjuring 2, which are not the most amazing movies on the planet, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. In a press release, Greg Silverman of Warner Brothers, president of creative development and worldwide production, said the following, quote, "We are so excited about bringing the world of Dungeons and Dragons to life on the big screen. This is far and away the most well-known brand in fantasy, which is the genre that drives the most passionate film followings. D&D has endless creative possibilities, giving our filmmakers immense opportunities to delight and thrill both fans and moviegoers new to the property." End quote. It could still suck. Who knows? It's really going to be all about the writing, like any good D&D game. As a fan of Critical Role, I've enjoyed the fact that immediately Critical Role fans have latched onto this and started saying, well, we need to basically just hire all of the voice actors that are on Critical Role that play D&D to be in this movie, which I wholeheartedly enjoy and endorse. Next up to other movie franchises that have a lot of story behind them. We've been talking a bit about the new Spider-Man movie that's coming up. The first thing that we heard was that, no, the Spider-Man movie is not a reboot. And then we heard that it might actually be a reboot. And then we heard that it wasn't going to be an origin story. And then we've been kind of hearing that, yeah, maybe it will be an origin story. Well, writers John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein have come out and have specified that Spider-Man will not, quote unquote, revisit the origin and in their reboot film, meaning we won't see him get bit by a spider, we won't see Uncle Ben die, and as Goldstein says, quote, "I think that everybody feels like, you know that he got bit by a spider, and you know that Uncle Ben died. We probably don't need to revisit that. We want to explore the fact that just because you get superpowers doesn't really make you into a sophisticated, successful adult. He's still a kid, and he's clumsy, and he's a geek, and he's a bit of an outcast. And in many ways, the superpowers amplify that and exasperate his trying to fit in," end quote. So I'm a little happy that they're not necessarily going to do an entire origin story, because we don't need to see that again. Oh my God. Finally, in news that is close to all of our hearts, but especially Roadblock, we're losing Peter Dinklage out of Destiny. So a lot of people have complained about the voice acting in Destiny, specifically Peter Dinklage. I would argue all the voice acting is bad in its direction, because there's some amazing actors in there, including Peter Dinklage. But by far, in the original game, not including the expansions, you hear a lot of Peter Dinklage. He is the voice behind the role of Ghost, which is the little tiny, let's just say, not at all.
He's the little light.
He's the little light. He's not at all the 343 guilty spark of destiny. So a lot of people complained about it, me included, although I have laid my complaints down at the feet of the director. Well, apparently, although they haven't come out and said this, the studio agrees because for the new expansion, The Taken King, which is supposed to be a fairly large expansion, they have recast the voice of Ghost as none other than Nolan North, who is pretty well known not only in the voice acting community, but specifically in video game voice acting. Here's the interesting thing. He's been recast in The Taken King. They've gone back and he's revoiced all of Ghost's lines. So if you buy The Taken King, you will get Nolan North from level 1. Now, they give a very good reason for this. They say in Game Informer's September cover story, they talk about how we wanted Nolan North's version of Ghost to wake you up at the start of the journey at level 1 and follow you all the way to level 40. Yeah, that's a new level cap. That was from Luke Smith, who is the director of Destiny. So it kind of makes sense. It would be a little bit weird to suddenly have a different voice for this character that is supposed to be with you the whole time. And you don't necessarily want Nolan North just doing a Peter Dinklage. But it certainly is interesting that they've decided to do that instead of bringing back Dinklage. According to Luke Smith, Nolan North re-recorded all of the original lines, so we're not getting new lines, we're just getting a new actor voicing those same lines, which I think will be interesting to see what the difference is. But he is apparently going to be the new Ghost, and on top of that, as I said, there's now a new level progression. That whole light thing and the 20 plus you got to go find specific armor pieces and weapons and the whole 9 yards, all of that has been scrapped. Now, it's like a normal RPG. You just earn XP by killing monsters and completing missions and turning in bounties. And now it doesn't matter if you get that random drop from Crota that you've been trying for weeks and weeks and has made you decide that you don't want to play the game anymore because you just have bad RNG. Not that I have any, specific complaints.
She says innocently.
Not that I have any specific complaints about things, but it certainly is a little bit annoying when you put in the same time and effort into the game that everybody else, and because of RNGesus, you don't get to level up. Anyway, Luke Smith did confirm that, quote, the conflagration of gear and character level led to this place where your identity was determined by things outside of your control. We don't want to do that, end quote. Now, I've not had the time to go back and find all of the quotes of Luke Smith calling us babies for complaining about this. I'm just going to go ahead and say that's an interesting thing to change. That's all for This Week in Geek. I'm Oboe Crazy, and I am super excited.
And before I say the world is indeed a strange place, I did want to touch on that third story because I did hear about that as well.
I figured both of you might want to talk about it.
Yeah. So I didn't think that Peter Dinklage's voice acting was that bad necessarily until I went back and heard what he sounded like before they added that robot sound to him. And it's flat and it's wooden. And I get that Destiny doesn't have like the best like script, right? It's a pretty basic plot. It's there's not that much interesting going on, at least from the main campaign. I can't count the DLCs, I haven't played them. But you gotta think of an actor of Peter Dinklage's caliber would bring something to it, bring some life to it, and his performance is inexplicably wooden.
Yeah.
And lacking in life. And it's just, and I know that it was reviled, and I saw that Moon Wizard line, which apparently was removed from the game, but it's by the time I got to it. But man, Nolan North, on the other hand, I'm a little familiar with. I've seen his voice acting in video games and in cartoons and stuff like that. I think he was in a Legion of Superheroes.
He's been in everything. He's literally been in everything.
Pretty much. He's a pretty common name, so he's got some chops and some gravitas. So who's hoping that the new Ghost will be a little more lifelike? And you know what the interesting thing is? There's not many situations where Ghost talks to other characters. Like, there's a few, but not many. So they probably could have gone and beefed up the dialogue a little bit and changed the lines. But so it doesn't really solve the problem for him, a different actor to go in and do it, necessarily.
Well,
unless Nolan North knocks it out of the park, that is.
So I totally agree with you. I didn't think Dinklage was bad. I just thought it was uninteresting. But listening to all the other characters in the game that you get a chance to talk to, and there's quite a few like little characters here, there, and everywhere. Especially the three main, the head of the Warlocks, the head of the Titans, and the head of the
Vanguard.
Yeah, they talk to you through missions and give you some dialogue, and all three of them are excellent voice actors and actresses. They're sprinkled all over the place, and all of them consistently give a very flat performance, which is why I put the blame on the director. I feel like whoever was directing these voice actors was asking for that kind of delivery, because I have a hard time believing every single person who voice acted for this game, especially of the caliber that they got, decided to phone it in. And since Destiny, Dinklage, granted he's playing Tyrion Lannister again, but he's been doing voice acting in other things, and we heard him in the Game of Thrones game, and he sounds just fine. So I think it's going to be hard to separate if Nolan North comes in and does a great job. I think, unfortunately, Peter Dinklage may continue to get a lot of flack for his performance, when in the end, it really may be the director.
Maybe. And it was interesting to notice the voice cast in Destiny, because I know that Lauren Cohen plays the, I don't know what the name of the character is, the EXO.
The Stranger.
The Stranger, right? And then Shora, I'm not sure if I'm saying the name right, Agdashlu, who you might remember from Mass Effect as Admiral Ron, plays Lexmi too. And she has an interesting enough voice that, I mean, maybe even directing is lacks enough. Like, it just sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, and Claudia Black is one of the vendors on the Citadel that you get a chance to talk to, and I know she's an amazing actress and voice actress. Granted, she doesn't have a ton of lines because she's just a vendor. And I've just lost the name of Mal, a Firefly guy, of
Clyde Six. Clyde Six is his character, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion, thank you. We know Nathan Fillion knows what the hell he's doing.
Sure.
So Sergeant Buck.
Sergeant Buck.
Actually, he got a promotion, didn't he? I think for Halo 5.
Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but
I think
it would make
he's just
sense.
Spartan Buck now, probably.
Probably. We'll see in a couple months. I am excited about
Yay.
that too.
I wanted to chime in a little bit. I'm not as familiar with Nolan North's stuff. Like, when they were naming off all the games he was in, I'm like, didn't play that. Didn't play that. Oh, didn't play that. Meaning to play that. So I am not, I had to go through his reel to see what all I recognized him from, and I literally recognized him from nothing. So it'll be interesting to see his take. I was actually just hanging out with a few guys, some pre-RTX, just lounging around talking about Destiny, and I'm wondering if it's going to be just a retcon, like in 1984, Nolan North has always been the voice of Ghost, and there has been no one else as the voice of Ghost, and that makes the most sense. There was talk of maybe the Ghost gets damaged and then his voice changes, but that wouldn't make any sense if they're also redoing the previous content. If it was just Nolan North taking over, they might be able to say, like, oh, Guardian, I fixed your Ghost, but his voice is a little different. He's like, oh, hello, Guardian, I sound a little different, but I'm still kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
But, and like I said, and like they were saying, this makes the most sense, just in general.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to replace him, and I could totally understand not re-recording different lines, because if the idea is they're just basically replacing Peter Dinklage as Nolan North, the easiest way to do that, without having to write a whole bunch of new script and everything, and I literally mean code, is to just replace one wave file with another wave file that's of a similar enough length. So, yeah, Nolan North is one of those, like, I actually have played very few games that he's in that I know offhand, but he also happens to be just everywhere. Like, if you, and he's also one of those voice actors who he'll sometimes play really well-known characters. He'll play the, like he is Nathan Drake in Uncharted. That's where a lot of people know him from. But a lot of the time, he is just listed as, other voices in a bunch of different video games, and you don't even really recognize him. You don't recognize his voice because he is a good enough voice actor that you don't always get him. The most recent thing I played that he was in that I didn't know he was in, I was playing Black Flag, Assassin's Creed, and he's in that. And then, the Lord of the Rings game. Shoot, I've just lost the name of it.
Shadow Mordor.
Shadow Mordor, yeah. He is he's not just, I believe, Black Hand of Sauron in that, but he is also listed as other voices, which means he's like 20 million other orcs in there. He does
Right.
things like if Deadpool shows up in a video game, it's Nolan North in every version of Deadpool. In the Deadpool game, in the Lego, if he shows up in any of the Lego Marvel stuff, he is everywhere, and he's an excellent voice actor. It sucks for Dinklage.
Yeah, especially if, as we've seen, and as you pointed out, it was a problem with whoever was directing the voice actors, and it was a problem symptomatic of the game producers rather than the actor. And I think
Yeah.
one place you see that a lot is with the Star Wars movies, the most recent ones.
Oh yes.
People were like, "Oh, Hayden Christensen sucks," or
Natalie
the
Portman.
kid who played Anakin Skywalker sucks. I forget his name. Jake Lloyd. But like, I've seen both those actors do other stuff well, and it doesn't shock me that George Lucas, who is not a very good director and who's gotten to the point where you can't really tell him what to do anymore, kind of screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know who is who is doing the voice direction for The Taken King. If it's the same person, they may have been instructed to not do the same shit. And so I don't think we'll ever know for sure.
Well, we might not know for sure, but I think it's pretty clear. It's sort of like you don't want to know that your parents had sex because, kind of circumstances, but you know that they did, or else you wouldn't be there. It's sort of one of those things you could kind of, you can draw that conclusion.
Yeah.
Even without knowing the facts, you have a pretty good idea of what happened. I'm sorry I went there.
No, all
Actually,
I can think
okay,
about...
so here's where it came from. I owe an explanation for this.
Yeah,
So
explain
I was
away.
hanging out with some friends, and I found out that a buddy's house was used to film a scene in a short that we're all very familiar with that involved parental sex. And I'm like, oh wow, I did not realize that. It's kind of cool, but it's just that's why it was on my head.
It's
in
funny
my
because
brain.
after you mentioned that, I was I don't know if it was the short. I was thinking about the $1 Million Butt. Did you guys see that?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I've been watching those. Those are really good.
Okay, that's what that's for some reason that's what I was going to, is the Barb one with that, which is very funny. If for our listeners at home, if you haven't seen $1 Million Butt, I guess it's a short.
It's a bit, and I've been watching it pretty consistently, and the parental sex one is so far the only one that I would do.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them I would not do. There's a ton of them, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and they're short little videos, and they're definitely worth a watch. But I wouldn't do any of that, especially not for just $1 million. I'm sorry, inflation and $1 million doesn't get you nearly as far anymore, especially since a lot of the time what they're coming up with is stuff that's you're going to have to deal with the rest of your life. I need more than $1 million, folks. I am not cheap.
No,
The world
you
is indeed
are
a strange
not.
place. If you, in fact, you want to read live on the air, you can go to our website. Actually, you can go to our website. You can send Lauren an email, lauren@ovocrazy.com, and if it's good or even if it's bad, she'll read it live and on the air. And while you're at it, go to our website, which is glibshark.com, full of past episodes of Jenga Jam, Buttcast, Glibshark, what have you. Different stuff. Maybe a picture blog dump after RTX. I'd tune into the site for that. Glibshark.com, the house of all of our content. But let's talk some RTX, kids.
Yay! I am excited.
I am in Austin.
I know.
Wow.
I'm jealous. I'm
Beat
super
us to the
jealous.
punch.
It's been interesting because I got in on Sunday and started seeing different groups of people, and it's been a lot of fun. It doesn't feel like I've only been here for 2 days. It feels like I've been here longer, but no, I've only been here for a couple of days, and it's still a couple of days yet before RTX, so it's very strange. Like right now, earlier this evening, I had gone downtown to see a bunch of people who had just gotten into town and were hanging out at their condo, and now I'm back here to do the show. So it's been a lot of running around, and then I saw I saw people for dinner last night, and then there was hanging out, and there have been board games, and oh, it's just so much fun.
Between the Guardians that I know and a lot of other people who, for various and sundry reasons, are coming into town early, my Twitter feed especially has been full of people already in Austin at RTX, essentially. So much so to the point that on Sunday, I had a moment where I'm like, what day is it again? What day is it now? Am I supposed to have been on a plane? Did I miss something? Like, I literally had a moment where I did not know what day it was or whether I was supposed to have already left.
Oh, I've had that. I did not realize that yesterday was Monday. It did not feel like a Monday because the reason I'm here is because I got to work out of our Austin office, and so they have allowed me to just essentially just go to work my normal hours, and stay here, and it's been so nice. I've also run into people who are from my office in Oklahoma City who did not expect to see me here, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just hanging out. Oh, it's been great."
I'm just here, because Austin, because it's 100 degrees. I did notice that.
It has been hot as balls.
Yeah, I'm
It's
not looking forward
like
to that.
when I left Oklahoma City, it was actually 90 degrees and mild. So for Oklahoma City in late July, that's really, really good. And I get down here, and it is standard South Texas heat.
Ugh.
And everyone's going to complain about it. And yes, New Mexico, you're harder in places. We know. Come on. But it's hot here, and it's hot for the people here, especially for the natives. Even though, as a native South Texan, I'm used to it, although being slightly up north, I'm slightly less used to it now.
Yeah, here is the secret to when people are complaining about the weather. It doesn't matter if it's better or worse other places. It doesn't matter whether it happens this way all the time and you're quote unquote used to it. None of that matters. If you're uncomfortable, you're uncomfortable, and you are allowed to be uncomfortable. That is a perfectly valid thing. So I will be spending as much time indoors as possible.
Yeah, and it's going to be really easy to do that. Although, with the split venues,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot more outside exposure. And actually, for a convention like RTX, where it's situated in a downtown that's easily walkable and has tons and tons of stuff around, I don't actually know it's going to be all that different, because I think even the people who were there and like big into the convention itself and not really going out very much, even that not very much was still quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, and I think the only hard part is going to be the moving from one location to another if there happens to be like a panel in one location and then another one you want to go to, because with it not being in the same building, that's going to take a little bit of time. But I've looked at the maps, and they're not that far away. We're not talking about miles and miles and miles. I mean, if you go to PAX, you have to walk further to go from the convention center to Benaroya than you will to
I was about
any.
to say, the Benaroya hike, I don't think there's one here.
Yeah, Benaroya is
The
a hike and a
Benaroya
half.
Death March.
And also in Seattle, there are hills. While the vast majority of downtown Texas that we're going to be in, I don't seem to remember any significant hills.
There's a hill going like north on Brazos, I think.
Yeah.
Not Bravos, people, Brazos. But I actually caught Connor McRae, one of our buddies here, Dark Bowler. He said Bravos instead of Brazos, and I was just like, "Oh, Connor." But you know what? Having not been in South Texas and having thought about the Bravosi way more than I thought of the Brazos River, I'm going to make that mistake a few times too.
There you go. And it's not like we're calling it a bad thing. I mean, Bravos is kind of awesome. Okay.
So I'm actually looking at the map right now,
Yes.
and it looks like the Hilton isn't far at all from the convention center. Where is the JW Marriott, though?
That's a new location, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure it has it on the maps. No?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
JW Marriott Austin, East 2nd Street. Okay, so it's a bit of a hike, but not too bad.
That is really not that far. I mean,
It's like 2 blocks.
yeah, the main convention center and the Hilton are right across the street from each other, and the JW Marriott is, yeah, it's 2 blocks, and it's an easy walk. It's not going to be a big deal.
And it's very important that everyone know where the JW Marriott Austin is, because our panel is there.
Oh yes.
What is it? 3:30
Friday.
p.m. on Friday in room
3:30.
3
JW Marriott. The room 301.
Yep. Be
there.
there. There will be awesomeness. And then
There will be prizes. I have acquired some more prizes. So
oh nice.
yeah, we'll have a few things for you guys.
And for the first time in a very long time, I feel like I've contributed to this panel.
Yay!
Yay! And okay, the only bad thing about our panel is it is basically right after the music in RVB 13 panel, which is at the Hyatt. Because I love going to that panel because Miles and Nico are adorable together. So I may have to go to some of that panel and then leave super early so I can get to our panel in plenty of time. But oh, that's a good panel. Any other panels on Friday that you guys are on or interested in seeing?
Honestly, I'm so preoccupied with ours that I haven't looked.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to prep for ours and making sure we have all our ducks in a row.
Lauren, I might join you for that music and RVB panel and then leave early with you to make sure that we make our panel on time.
Yeah, I figure go to like the first half hour.
Yeah.
And then it's going to take all of 5 minutes to get over to our panel, and then we're there super early to cool off and do whatever prep we need. But I'd hate to miss any of that because it's always a lot of fun. And Roadblock, I totally get the too busy preparing for panels because the last couple days has been the flurry of last minute D&D stuff for the charity D&D game, which, if you happen to be interested, is going to be happening Saturday, August 8th at 7 o'clock in room 406 at the Hilton, right across the street from the convention center. Come, there will be prizes, there will be surprises, there will be slaying of things. It will be awesome.
I think it's funny that your D&D panel, essentially, or your D&D set, is returning to a hotel.
Yeah, that's true, because the first one was in a corner of a hotel that we kind of co-opted. So this time it'll be a little more official, and I am super excited. I'm a little nervous because this is the first time I'm going to be doing live D&D in front of a more formalized audience of like people sitting watching, but it should be a lot of fun.
Okay, so I have some real talk for you kids, for the people listening.
Hit us.
There's a good chance you're not going to get into the concert that night. I'm sorry. It's 1,200 people, and there are how many attendees at RTX this year?
Is it
like
12?
What, 40 something? It's 1,200.
See, now I'd actually heard a smaller number than that based on the size of the location that they said the concert was in.
The last number that I heard for the Paramount was 1,200, which is still it's still not. Given the number of people that are going to be going, there's a very good chance you won't get in. Now, if I'm talking to you and you know who I'm talking to, then maybe you have a shot to get in. But that other guy, the other you that I'm referring to, no, you're not getting in because you're with me and you're probably not that other you.
Well,
so what I'm saying is, don't even mess with it. Just come and watch D&D.
Yeah.
And then afterward, come with us to Buffalo Billiards or wherever we land. It'll be awesome. Yes, the concert is great, and if you could get in, fantastic. But realistically, it's gonna be a tough entrance. So instead of spending your evening standing in queue, come sit. Share in an adventure. Share in some awesome storytelling and some comedy. It'll be great. I guarantee a good time.
Now, Roadblock speaks incredibly wise words. For those of you who are still intent on trying to get into the concert, which I totally understand, because the Video Game Orchestra and Bare Naked Ladies are fucking amazing. Here's the thing. I believe you have to be in line by 7. They'll be capping the line, and at 7 o'clock they let people in, right? It's like
I don't know how it's work. How it's going to work.
they talked about, I don't remember the specific time, but I believe it's 7 o'clock is when you have to be in line by 7. I think the concert starts at 8, and they're going to cap the line as soon as they have the number of people in there they need. So realistically, if you want to go to this concert, you will need to have lined up several hours early. So here's my suggestion: if and when you show up to the line at whatever time you feel is appropriate and comfortable, and it's already capped because people are insane and will have been in that line since the night before, you will then have plenty of time to saunter on over to the Hilton and come and join us. So for those of you who are insisting on trying, I totally get it. When you can't get into that line, come join us.
So we have optimistic oboe and raging cynic roadblock.
And Jack, who says room 406 in the Hilton.
Yep.
If anyone tells you, you know that expression, it ain't the Hilton. Our expression is in the Hilton, so it is the Hilton.
And we will be having a ton of fun. And as far as I know, there is nothing after us. So while I don't plan on going later than the scheduled time, if we go a little bit over, it's because things are going awesome.
Oopsie.
Yeah,
Sorry, Guardians.
I mean, no, I don't want to screw over the Guardians, but there is, yeah, the only other thing that's happening, well, the Hilton is still going on, but there's something in room 400 till like 9:30. So I plan on this being an hour, maybe a bit longer, because there will be funness. Also, as I will announce periodically throughout the weekend, the DM does accept bribes. So if you would like to help your 4 premier players survive their adventure, food and drink can be available in my face at any time.
Conversely, can your ire be bought? That is to say, if people really want to see me die, can they bribe you with stuff?
Well, yes. So if you happen to be going to the charity auction that's happening Thursday night, where is it happening again? Where's the
Charity auction is it the Embassy Suites again?
I don't remember. You've probably already got tickets. If you're going to the SideQuest charity auction, one of the things you can bid on, like always, is a prize pack for the D&D game. This year, we are once again offering the chance for you to be the boss monster. And yes, that means spoilers. There's a boss monster. Deal with it. You can bid on a prize pack that will let you come up on stage during the game. I will show you the character and talk you through how to play. Well, not really how to play, basically. I'll just tell you what your options are. You will pick what the boss does. You will get to roll the DM's dice. And at the end of the game, you will be able to keep the dice, the character sheet, and one other very special gift that I won't spoil. You'll just have to come to the game to see. So if you would like to have a chance to actually put the hurt on the players, bid on that charity auction and be the person who gets to come up and try to kill them. Because the last time we did this, Metal Dragon rolled a d20 and rolled a natural 20, and it was kind of epic.
Looks like all the side quest stuff sold out already.
I believe it did. The charity auction, I think, just sold out a week or so ago, and all the rest of it I'm pretty sure has, especially the all access badges. Those sold out fairly quickly.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, I should have been faster about this.
The only thing I have is the charity auction. I wasn't able to afford anything else.
Hey, so if you're listening and you have a ticket to charity auction and you can't go, contact me.
Oh, Jenga.
Yeah.
Luke has a ticket to the charity auction.
Thank you, Luke. Godspeed.
You now have a ticket to the charity auction. I was just going to write it off as a donation, but if you do need one, Luke has one. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for you to show up and be Luke McKay for an evening.
I can do that. Can I dress like Luke McKay? Can I do like Luke McKay cosplay?
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, need black hat, black shirt, green shirt, black pants.
If only you knew of a place to get such an easy cosplay.
Oh god.
I will say this though. When Luke does the dress-up version of his outfit, he does wear a nice shirt, with a nice. He has a. He usually does a green tie. He's got like a suit version of
Oh, I've
his
seen it.
normal
Yeah,
outfit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think in honor of my good friend Luke McKay, I need to dress up as dress up Luke McKay. I was thinking about doing Indian clothes, but I think this will be better.
That's up to you. I think if you did, that would be friggin' awesome, especially since you're going to be using his pass.
I'll draw terrible things for people too.
I love
I
it.
want all these stick figures, Jack. Luke.
You couldn't go as Luke McKay though. You'd have to go as Rook McCrae or something.
No, no, no. I think he goes as Luke McKay. I think we see how many people notice.
Maybe in honor of the Bandit, I could go as Luke McGay. Different time, different joke. But Bandit dressed up as him as RVBTO years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Oh, that rascallion.
Roadblock.
And Dad.
What other panels are you in? Because I'm in those two. I think Jenga is in just those two. But Jenga, I don't think you're in any other panels this weekend, right?
I am not.
Okay. Roadblock. List off the other panels you are in, so everybody knows.
Okay, so on Saturday as well at 12:30 at the Marriott room 301 is the Capturing a Community, a fan photography panel that I am moderating for some of our friends. And some of those friends include Nathan Hayden, aka Rage and Terror, John Sedlak, aka Rocket John, or Rocket Whore, as he used to be known. I think he's just John on the site now.
I think so.
Who else?
Connor McRae.
Connor McRae. We
Dominic.
have Dom Dobrensky, Count 3D, and we also have. Is that it? Did
That's
I
all
forget
that's
someone?
that's all that's listed on the schedule. But if you have other
That's
special
all.
guests,
That's all. That's all. That's
Okay.
all. I
Yeah,
couldn't
two of
remember
which-
because.
Two of those people did the video for my wedding. I should point that out. So
Yep.
Yes.
they know what they're talking about.
and
Yeah,
the
so-
third one showed up and was just kind of awesome as well, and will be at the D&D game.
Yes. So the thrust of the panel is that we are fans of this community, but we also love to take pictures. So what we're going to be talking about is our photography, our art, how it relates to the community, and what you can do if you want to join the ranks of the fan photographer. And we're going to be talking equipment, we're going to be talking stories of different events we covered, we're going to be taking questions. We're going to be taking pictures of the people at our panel, and afterward, time and resources permitting, we're going to have a little community photo shoot right after our panel. So we're really excited for it. That panel is almost done with our prep. Most of the guys have gotten me the stuff that they're going to want to show off. We have a neat little slideshow that we're going to be doing, and I think we're going to be doing a little bit of video, but that's John's purview, so he'll be managing that. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and like I said, it's going to be a chance for us to kind of talk, and for somehow we got a bunch of the Photog Guardians in the same room at the same time. So it's a massive misallocation of resources. But thank you for letting us do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of them have to come in and then like leave halfway through, and there's probably going to be a little bit of a variation on who's going to be there, because several of these
So
people
far,
are
no
actually
one's-
Guardians.
So far, no one said anything.
Oh, okay. I
There
prefer to
have
be
been
wrong in
no.
this.
I hope you're wrong too, but I don't know, because no one said one way or the other. I think the assumption of everyone who's on the panel is that they are going to be there,
Awesome.
because they've been sending me stuff that is going to be on that panel.
And
That's
it looks
awesome.
like it's what is it, 12:30 in room 301 of the JW Marriott.
Yep, 12:30, 1:30,
Yes.
and 3:01 at the Marriott. I'm
I
looking at
almost
the
said
schedule.
KY
right.
Marriott for some reason. I don't know why.
Don't. No.
No.
Okay.
No. Roadblock, what
Not
else are
no.
you in this weekend?
So on Sunday, and this is panel hard mode, because it's 11:30 a.m. on the Sunday, and it is the Player 4 podcast panel put on by our good friend Joseph Dunlap, and the angle of the panel is it's going to be about podcast production. So we're going to be talking about how we produce our shows, what our shows are about, just podcasting in general, and if it's something that interests people, they can come and have a look, hear our stories, and pick up some tips. So it's going to be myself, Escalante of of his podcast, Joseph Dunlap, of Player 4, and there's someone else. I'm totally bad at this, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a hoot, and we're going to see how many mimosas I can drink and stay alive for this panel.
Go for the high score, buddy. Go for the high score.
I am. It's the only panel this weekend that I have precisely 0 prep for. I did do some prepping for the D&D thing, but that's something else. It's the only panel that I have to show up to, and so I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Roblox, you have 5 years of prep for this panel.
No, I don't, and you'll see why.
Well, I still think it'll be awesome, and I plan on being there for all of your panels.
But the Player 4 panel is at room 303 at the JW Marriott at 11:30 on Sunday. So come on by, have some fun podcasting. I might call out my fellow hosts on stage, and as I'll be inebriated, I'll probably be a little salty. So so if you come by 11:30 on Sunday, you might witness the death of Glib Shark or the rebirth. Who knows?
Listen, if we've lasted that long, if we lasted through our own panel and a D&D game where I'm literally trying to kill you guys, figuratively, I think we'll be okay.
If anything happens, God forbid, I can reprogram Hitchbot to take over. Poor Hitchbot. My terrible city killed you.
All right. Any other panels of note people want to talk about or things
I
they'd
want
like
to
to
talk
see?
about Hitchbot. I want to
Okay.
bring that up because that is fucking hilarious. So, how many he had made it through Canada and Australia, and I think like Norway or somewhere, like the fjords of Europe or whatever.
So he's a Canadian. For those that don't know, Hitchbot was basically a large, very sedentary robot created by a team in Canada as a social experiment, and it would literally hitchhike across countries. And I do mean countries. You're right. It made it Australia, Canada. I think it made it across a couple different European countries, but I don't remember what. So they dropped it off in New England, and it made it like 2.5 states before Philadelphia destroyed it. Literally, like removed its head and vandalized it so badly that it could not continue its journey. So America killed a beautiful social experiment. Congratulations, America.
Well, I'm looking at something like Gizmodo. Well, apparently, like someone made a surveillance video of his Hitchbot thing, and of course that was a fake. But I'm kind of wondering, like, I never even heard of this robot until he was destroyed. So I'm thinking, is this a publicity stunt? The whole thing, just to get attention to this project that was kind of ignored?
You know what? If it wasn't a Canadian team, I'd say maybe. But it's a Canadian team that made this. I'm going to say no. Because Canada.
Wow.
I love you, Canada, but you're not sneaky in any way, shape, or form.
Never mind the fact that hitchhiking for anybody is a dangerous proposition. So it's it was only a matter of time before something like this happened, right? Because when people hitchhike,
no, it's clearly not, because it survived Europe and Canada.
So Europe and Canada, like, it's law of averages, right? It ends up with friendly people, and sooner or later, if it wasn't on Philadelphia, it would have been Tennessee or California or Texas or Oklahoma or someplace.
Well, I'm not.
It just
saying
happened to be Philadelphia.
No. I'm not. You misunderstand me. I'm not saying that it was specifically Philadelphia who were the assholes that killed Hitchbot, even though they were in this case. I'm saying we're a country of assholes, and you're right. He would have been killed in any of those states because we're fucking awful.
And it's so, like, Western bias. What if you sent him to someplace like Afghanistan or Iraq or Nigeria or something? How long would Hitchbot have lasted then?
I'm just saying those are a little bit different because those have actual conflict right now. Like, there's no war going on in America. Like, okay, there might. It's not hyperbole. There's just like it's not an active military zone. Let's put it that way. Sorry, Jade Helm 15 conspiratists.
Oh God, Hitchbot, I love you.
I love how we combined the stories of Jade Helm 15 and Hitchbot.
And that people get more outraged over the death of a robot or a lion than of actual people.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing
that's the thing that's happened.
the thing that I'm upset about with the Cecil the Lion thing, like it's horrible and tragic, yes, and he should be punished, yes. But the social media crazies have now shut down his place of business, have death threatened his family, and have basically caused a whole bunch of other people who work at that dentist office because it's not just him. Like there's
It's a
other
place of business. Like people, they're not helping these people find jobs.
no, they're not. And that would be one thing if it was like, all right, we're going to shut down this place of business and we're going to help you guys find new and better jobs under somebody who is not an asshole who kills lions. But no, they basically just screwed over an entire family and an entire dentistry practice for social justice craziness, for, up in arms. And it's not like they needed a petition or they needed to act because the government wasn't. He's being charged. He's going to be extradited. So basically, people are just punishing poor innocent people who just happen to work in the same place as this guy.
Oh wait, he's being extradited to Zimbabwe?
They are Zimbabwe is trying to get him extradited.
That sucks. Zimbabwe. I mean, I do think that he did it, but I think that Zimbabwe is the last place that someone from the West wants to be.
Well, they have some pretty stringent anti-poaching laws, and
sure. But I meant, like, aside from the poaching element of it, just in terms of getting a fair trial, in terms of being somewhere where there's some transparency, like Zimbabwe is not that place.
And that's why he hasn't been extradited yet, because rules in the United
Mugabe's insane.
Well, rules in the United States have very strict terms about who they will allow to be extradited for what reasons and whether our government believes that this person will get a fair trial. So we don't know yet, and it's probably going to be a very long time before they do, because this kind of stuff. I mean, in a week, no one will have thought of Cecil the Lion, and the social media pressure will have lost its vig and verve, and no one's going to go fast on this. But yes, last I heard was they were going to try to extradite him. They've already jailed, I want to say, the guy who ran the hunt.
I would hope so, because
I
those are the guys.
think so. Yeah, they threw him into jail in Zimbabwe.
I don't think this guy,
whatever.
his instincts as bad as they are, could have done anything if he didn't have guides who were local to Zimbabwe who knew the terrain.
Yeah,
they were allowed to do that. I mean, this wasn't like an accident or whatever.
No,
they kind of maliciously hunted this lion for 40 hours.
Well, didn't they lure him out of his protective reserve?
Yes.
Like, that was one of the things that he did wrong, was that he decided, you know what, I really want to kill this lion. I want to get it out of the place it's protected at.
Yes, they intentionally lured him out of the reserve he was in into an area where they could shoot him. Whether or not that's still legal is whatever. But yeah, they specifically lured him away from where he was in order to kill him. Gah. Can we talk about RTX a little bit more before we end? Because I want to end on a happy note.
Yeah, let's talk about the concert that's happening. I mean, I guess we already talked about that a little bit, but let's talk about the friends we're excited to see again. And
everybody.
Well, are you going to the? There's some stuff happening outside. Like, you go to the booze cruise? I
cannot. So I have absolutely the worst flights ever of all time, except that they're direct. So I have an overnight flight Wednesday night to Thursday morning. And I can't sleep on planes. So basically, I'm going to be arriving at 5:30 in the morning on Thursday. I'm going to the place that I'm staying at. A wonderful friend of the show, Rocket John, is letting me stay at his place because I have no money, and I'm going to sleep because I'll need it. Then I also need to pick up my badge and everything. So probably the first place everyone will see me is sometime in the afternoon. I'm going to try to get my badge, and then that evening at the charity dinner, because if I try to go to the booze cruise, I won't even make it to the charity dinner. I need to get some sleep.
Let's talk on that for a second. So one of the snafus of this year was that instead of badges being mailed out for the first time, because they've never done that before, they had to revert to people coming to pick up their badge. Now, it's going to be spread over all three venues, I think.
Yep.
So the line shouldn't be bad. Do we know when they're starting that?
They already have. Hold on. I believe... I know it's going to be happening in the afternoon. I think they already talked about you could pick up badges today if you wanted.
Really?
Oh yeah, I definitely saw that. Um,
Shit, I would have done I would have gone downtown for that.
Let me see registration info under the info tab in the RTX app. Okay. I am looking this up now. Registration is located in 3 locations, which is all 3. What do I need to get my badge? Which location should I go to? You can be at any of the 3. Your badge is your ticket. What time is registration open? Thursday from 2 to 6 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I am positive I saw somewhere that that registration was actually open today. I don't think it was open at all 3 locations. I think they maybe just had it at the convention center, but I know people because at least Guardians had to be able to pick up their stuff because they're going to start
Right,
to work tomorrow.
but that's a different deal because a lot of the Guardians are expected to be here on Wednesday.
Yeah. I I, I don't know about tomorrow. According to the official RTX app, Thursday at any of the 3 locations between 2 and 6. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
I guess the thing you can do is just follow the at RTX event Twitter, follow the Rooster Teeth Twitter, and
Yes.
if something like that comes up, they will let us know.
Yes.
Oh, it works for me. I can pick up mine after the cruise. I
There
will
you
be
go.
in town from. It looks like I land in Austin, Texas, Thursday at 10 a.m. local time, and I'm not leaving until Monday. My flight doesn't leave until 6:05 p.m. So I'm pretty much there most of Monday too.
Yeah, Monday I leave an insane time in the morning. I literally leave at like 5:30 in the morning.
Oof.
So, yeah, I will be having a lot of fun Sunday evening and hanging out with people. I have yet to decide if I am going to go basically try to get some sleep and just go to the airport super early, or if I'm just going to stay up all night. I don't know yet. I probably won't decide until that evening and see how tired I am. But yeah,
Hey guys, I gotta run. I will be in town all day, all week, so I will be around. Yeah,
but we
thanks
should
guys.
we should just end it
No,
here.
no, keep going, keep going. I gotta run though. So see you guys.
See you later. Literally.
Bye, Jonathan. And we're going to see everyone. The band will be reunited very soon, in a few short days. So be sure to come to our panel on
Yes.
Friday and our panel on Saturday as well, and Jonathan's panels.
Which are all over the place.
We'll do a quick rundown one more time before we bid you guys adieu. So the J.W. Marriott, 3:30 p.m., room 301, the Glib Shark panel proper. Saturday in the Hilton. That's Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks happening in room 406 at 7 p.m. And then we have
At the Hilton.
At the Hilton, yes. And then we had the fan photographers of RT. That's Jonathan's panel happening at 12:30 in room 301 at the JW Marriott. And last but certainly not least, on Sunday at
11:30.
11:30 p.m. in 303 at the JW Marriott. That's the Player 4 podcast featuring Jonathan and our good friend Joseph Dunlap and many others. And be sure to hunt me down, look for me, look for autographs. I'll be giving out high fives for the most part during the event. And if you are an RT SideQuest person who can't make one of the events aside from the charity auction, tweet me at Jack Edith and let me know. I'll be happy to buy your pass off of you.
And if you happen to find me, please come on by, give me a hug, let's chat. This is my first RTX and where I actually have free time because I don't have to be a booth babe. And absolutely come find me if you do like Luke McKay because I will have something very special for you to do.
Very good. So, RTX event.
Yay.
Be sure to come out and hang out with us. Our sound producer is Jonathan Cerna, who is outside the room right now. But I'll impersonate him because that's not a problem. This is how Jonathan talks. This is exactly his voice. Jonathan D. Cerna here.
Why does your roadblock sound like Kermit?
Why not? Because it's the best possible. If you're gonna miss, you should miss by a mile. That's my say. That's my motto.
Also, if you gotta sound like somebody, I guess I would rather sound like Kermit than anything.
Yeah. Our announcer is the voice actor Bob Ball. Our music is done by Linnea Boyev. And on behalf of Jonathan, Lauren, and the entire Glib Shark staff, this is Jack Edithel saying good night, good health, and why are there so many
Songs about rainbows.
See you at RTX.
All right, I know Jonathan had to go, and I should probably get to bed before because tomorrow's it's a school night.